Congress has a secret medical fund, and it is completely legal shorts. There is a fund called the Office of the Attending Physician's Medical Account. It appears in no law you've ever read, and it has existed since 1928, buried inside a Naval appropriations rider that most members never even debated on the floor. Here's what it actually is in plain terms. Every member of Congress pays a flat annual fee, a few $100s, and in exchange, they get unlimited visits to a private medical suite inside the Capitol. X-rays, prescriptions, physical therapy, active-duty Navy doctors on staff, paid for by the Department of Defense, not by any transparent congressional line item you can search. No copies per visit, no itemized bill, just one flat number buried in a budget document covering care that would cost an ordinary citizen thousands. It was never created by a standalone vote. In 1928, Congress attached the office to a Naval Appropriations Bill, a funding mechanism for the Navy, not a healthcare bill, and slipped an attending physician provision inside it. No committee hearing on should Congress get its own private doctor's office. No debate about cost to taxpayers. It rode through as a rider, the same legislative trick used to pass things nobody wants examined in daylight. Once funded, it became permanent through the appropriations process itself, renewed every year automatically as part of the legislative branch's budget, never revisited as its own policy question, never subjected to the up or down vote that created most of the laws governing your own health care. Who controls it now is the architect of the Capitol and the Navy's Bureau of Medicine, jointly, two bodies with zero incentive to publish what members actually receive. Members disclose that they pay the fee. They do not disclose what they use it for. Congress writes the rules for what counts as public financial disclosure, and it has quietly exempted its own medical care from the itemization it demands of federal contractors, of federal employees, of you. Here's the part that should actually bother you. This isn't just about members getting free physicals. Ordinary Americans navigate prior authorizations, surprise billing, insurance denials, $1,000 deductibles. The people who write the laws governing your medical bills operate under a system explicitly built to have none of those features. No claim gets denied. No bill gets itemized. No insurance company decides what's medically necessary. A member of Congress with chest pain walks into a Capitol suite and is seen immediately by a military physician, funded by a budget line the public was never asked to approve. While down the street, a nurse or a teacher on a marketplace plan is fighting a denial letter for the same test. Every time a member votes on a healthcare bill, the Affordable Care Act, drug pricing reform, Medicare negotiation, they are voting on a system they personally do not have to live inside. That's not corruption in the legal sense. It's something stranger, a structural blind spot, built in a century ago, that nobody since has had the incentive to close. And here's why it cannot be repealed, not really. To eliminate it, Congress would have to vote to take healthcare access away from itself, and that vote would have to pass a body that benefits from the status quo, sponsored by members who'd be giving something up for nothing. There is no outside enforcement mechanism, no court that reviews internal congressional appropriations for fairness, no regulatory agency with standing to intervene. The only body with the authority to end it is the exact body that receives the benefit. That is the structural lock. Self-governing power, with the self as the sole check, virtually always renews itself, which raises the bigger question. If a fund like this, quietly born from a rider, quietly renewed for nearly a century, quietly shielded from itemized disclosure, can exist for something as visible as medical care, what does that tell you about the institutions you can't see at all? The ones with no attending physician's office, no line item anyone's ever bothered to ask about, operating on the same self-renewing logic, never subjected to a single vote of their own. We don't know how many of those there are. That's the part nobody tells you.